Welcome back, Backyard Build, Backyard Bananas. Welcome back, Backyard Builders. Sedan is in the hot spot. Got a few bits and pieces here for it. Let's get stuck into it. Hey guys, just jumping into this video real quick to let you know we have had a rendering done by the one and only drop mutt, Ev Danes of my Swiss Motors EH Ute. We're going to be doing a run of shirts and hoodies, just like we did in our initial run. We're going to hold pre-order for the month of March only, so the 4 weeks in March, or 4.5 weeks in March, pre-orders are open. You can buy yourself a shirt or a hoodie, or we're doing combo packs for both. Make sure you get yours soon. Pre-orders only in March. We'll have the orders in April and sent straight out to you. Hoodies will be just in time for winter and not this glorious summer we've had so far in Australia. All right, guys, that's all. Links in the bio. Let's get back to the video. First up, I need to get this up on the blocks that I made because it has moved around the shed. So let's get it up on the blocks and then let's get stuck into some of those floors that are a bit rotten. Let's do it. Hopefully that lawnmower in the background isn't too loud, but now the car is up in the air on the blocks. Hold on to the door. We've got to get inside it. See that rotten floor pan there? That's got to be changed for this one. But I think the good old boys were dukesing it up, so there's a bit of a dent there. Bit of a dent there. There's also a few extra holes in here. So I'm going to lay that one in there. Get some chalk, just quickly mark out the majority of the pan and then cut the guts of that out so we can drop that bit in. Now I know here, where are we? In this area here, there's the actual like chassis stiffener that comes around. So I will have to cut sort of clear of it a little when I cut these out. But these areas are actually pretty good, so we're not going to bother replacing those. We're just going to do like where the real gnarly stuff is, and obviously where the big dent is. We know that needs to sit in there, and you can see it really doesn't want to sit down in there, but we know roughly that pan goes all the way along here. Basically, we want to cut that out. That's all right, we'll get to that. I really just want to cut the main guts of this pan out. I know there is also a joint about here somewhere on the underside. So we're going to cut inside this area. Because I know these are the bad spots. That's good in there. But this main section's the worst. Probably come a little wider there. There is seatbelt mount holes there. I don't need these ones. I only need the ones in the tunnel. So yeah. That should cover that. I might get this, might get that off. Maybe. Might have to break a few screw heads. Anyway, I'll get the grinder and we'll start choppity chop chopping, eh? Because this isn't going to get done looking at it. So, we've got that cut out. We know we need to sit about there-ish. So, let's try and get a bit more of a mark on this now. This is just a bit more of a closer mark for us, really. I'm not going to worry too much about the back edge just yet. Not too worried about that. But I think we're still held up on this edge, so we do have a little ways to go. Our piece is actually back here, so I'm going to cut back to there. And that should allow us just a little, it should just help it sit in a bit more. We also know where our actual edge is, so we're going to trim back here somewhere. That's our actual edge. Thread it back all the way around, so we know which lines we're cutting on. All right, so let's go. Okay, I think I've got the majority of that trimmed out where I want it to. There's a lip there, which is fine because it's actually going to like plug well back together. This lip I'm okay with because I can get a weld all the way along there. I want to put a little cut just there. How does that all weld back? Okay, so I've got to butt weld my pan to that repair that we did ages ago, and then it's got to all like join to that. Still got to remove this little bit, but let's see where we are. Ow. The back of the pan is holding us up because we're actually sitting on that lip. But I think we need to mark out underneath because we actually got to cut some of the back of the pan off here because it's not rotten. There's a little hole there, but it's just enough that I can fill. It's a little thin, but it'll be okay. I can't see anything pretty gnarly. It all feels like good solid metal, except for right at the very front edge there, but we might even just trim it a little funky. So yes, that needs to come off, but sit that there. Let's go underneath and have a look. So now we're back here somewhere. Pretty happy with how we've cut to that. That should be fine. Everything else is looking good. There is a bit of a whoop on that corner, but just noticed. Yeah, be right. Got a stitch up. Who did this? Lapped it on top. Be right. Should be right. But we need to sit forward of where it drops. So sit forward where it drops. So we want to cut sort of right in the bottom corners, sort of here, I think. Somewhere around there. We'll cut that off and then we'll try it again. Alrighty, so as you can see, I just cut the back edge of that floor pan off, and kind of where it sits. We're actually, it sort of wants to tuck in pretty close. So what I'm going to go and do is grab the drill, a couple of screws. I'm just going to try and pin it in a few spots so I can get a better mark on the underside, because I need to cut this corner off because I think that's what's sort of holding it up at the moment. And then I reckon it'll nearly drop in and sort of fit. And we'll be pretty close to getting that final trim, final mark. So yes, drill and screws. We're actually going to go with clecos. Decided against screws. So I reckon that back corner is where I want to go first. Plenty of meat in there. Cleco's a little bent. Yeah, so you can see how just there got some tension on it somewhere. So back under we go. Righto. See, I've cut the back corner of that pan off. Just line up our cleco holes. There. Oh, look at that. It sits way better in there now. Let's put one. Just try and get it right on that edge. Perfect. I reckon that pan needs a bit of love in that corner. It needs to, floor needs to come up, pan needs to go down, one of the two. But we're sitting much better. Is that base tracking? I don't know. That's fine. I think we've got a little bit of muck around with that corner to do. So let's get our chalk, get back under there. Really liking this new camera. So, what I have determined is between this point and this point, it needs more whoop. So, I'm just going to put it over the knee brake. See if that works, eh? It definitely sits down. Don't know if it's the right amount. It's definitely down. Might have been too much on the knee brake. Alright. We'll work that out in a minute. Going back under. I also know I need to trim that a little bit, but doesn't matter. Alright. Apparently it still wants more. Like, a lot more. So, it's almost like the whole pan needs a kink. You can do it with these pans. They're definitely a little bit thinner than the factory ones. Let's put it that way. Let's get those two to line up. I mean, it's in there more. My other thought is I think like the edge of the pan needs to curl up a bit. So we might actually need to get it in the sandbag and just block it a little bit just to get it to curl up. But otherwise, it's sitting in there pretty money. So I've got the pan pretty well fitting now. Like that. I'm at the point where I sort of need to clean up around all the edges. This needs final trimming now. So I'm going to get that black E-coat off, clean some of the rust and stuff off the floor, and then we can do the final cut and we can get it actually fitting properly then. So let's do a bit of dirty work. Not looking forward to this bit. Alright, that took a little bit longer than planned to clean up. I've done both sides because I didn't feel like doing one side in the car, especially not the underside. So I've got in here,
cleaned up around the edge. Unfortunately found a bit more rust than I would have liked. So let's have a look at that. So I knew the corners down here were a bit rotten. There's a little spot in the corner I can deal with. Same thing just over here. Not the end of the world. But around my seatbelt mount wasn't like that before I hit it with the wire wheel. So that's a bit of a bugger. But it's also a bit of a hole in the corners. I don't know if the pan quite covers it, but let's get it back in there and see how good or bad it is. I'm back. Hopefully we'll see how good or bad this floor is. I need to clean up a little bit further up. Let's pin up straight away. Right. That needs to sit down there. That's alright. I'm going to pull that back to the pillar because then that'll pinch down with it. But I'm pretty much at the point where I sort of just got to cut the floor and just start getting it put in. I know I need to, automatically looking at right here, I need to clean up a bit further. Same on just the very top edge there, so I'll quickly do that. I guess I'll start cutting and welding. Righto, so I have the floor cleaned up, fitted. Well, not fitted, I suppose it's ready for marking. You can see there's a couple of screws in place holding it. What I have done, if you can see it, I've coloured in the edge in black texture. So I want to trim the floor, and on the underside I've actually coloured in the floor pan so I can colour in, I can trace the floor pan and cut it. And same, I'm going to cut the floor pan through here. So I'm just going to mark that now and trim it, and fingers crossed.
Hey guys, just jumping in real quick, reminding you that Hare & Forbes are still doing power hammer classes in Adelaide, Melbourne, Perth and Brisbane. Make sure you get a spot, you get to purchase a hammer, take it home with you. We'll teach you all the things and how to use. You might even get to make a hammer form while you're there. There is a link in our bio, jump on there and see if you can book yourself a class. Now let's get back to the video. It took a little bit longer for me to get it fitting than I was planning. And I just kind of kept going and then kept going. And before I knew it,
Where is it? Down there. Look down.
it was tacked in. I've still got this little bit to do, but I sort of need to put a slice through there just to get that to sit in a bit. And then I'll probably just remove that screw in the corner, and I might just move the whole pan up because I think it's a little bit low, but you can see that that pushes to it. And I might just get the hammer and just wha-pow! But yeah, that's one pan virtually tacked in. Still got a couple of just plug weld holes to drill. Where is it? Over here. Couple of plug weld holes to drill, but I'll do that once I just adjust that. But yeah, it's in. So yeah, I've got this to weld up, and then I've got one more pan to do, which will be, where is it? Over here somewhere. Come on, camera. This one. I don't have to do as much with that one. Let's go back round and have a look at it because it's not super bad. Yeah, turn around, camera. Yeah, the worst of it is this, and in here, the worst of it's really just in the very bottom of this. So I'll probably just do like a very basic patch, and it'll just sort of be maybe this very centerpiece.
provided no other rot comes discoverable. But this pan's actually alright. Same thing, the good old boys, they got a bit of a whoop on her. But we'll soon have it looking like that one, won't we? So that's going to do it for me today. I think I'm going to come back to this tomorrow, next weekend. Soon, because March is coming.